I think it's very important that you understand one thing as a non-asset freight broker. You see, you don't have any assets, no assets of your own that you own, so you're dependent on those that have their own assets. Whereas a asset brokerage has some of its own assets, and it can depend on its assets and the assets of others. So since you're a non-asset freight broker, I think it's very important that you understand that there's a skill that you need to develop. And you need to be very aware and conscious of this skill. It needs to be in the back of your mind at all times. In this video today, I'm going to talk about that skill, that one skill that you need to pay very close attention to, that you need to start to develop as a non-asset freight broker. So come on inside, sit back, relax, and let's get down into the business. I think we should obsess over customers, over the shippers, to find out more about how we can be of service, of value to shippers, to always be thinking in your mind, questioning yourself, asking yourself key questions. Like, what is it about me? What is it about my service that makes shippers want to work with me? What is it about my skill set that attracts shippers? What am I good at? What can I deliver on over and over and over again as it pertains to my customers? I think when we're thinking about it like this, we're thinking about it the right way. When we're thinking about, hey, what is it about me that my customer likes? Then we're thinking in terms of what is best for the customer. Because when we are thinking in those terms, then you're going to go into your creative mind to come up with different things that will be of value to your customer. Because what you should always be thinking about is, how can I bring more and more value to the customer? Because the customer has options. They can work with whoever they want to work with. So you need to be thinking about that. What is it about me? What am I good at? And how do you know what you're good at? Well, you'll start to figure that out as you start to exchange with shippers and start to move their loads. And shippers will be able to identify what you're good at, because they may give you lanes that they know are tough lanes, lanes that they've been having problems covering. And then if they give you that lane and you go out and cover that lane and you can cover it consistently, well, then they know right away, then you are a reliable freight broker. You are a brokerage that if we give you a load, even in tough lanes, you can find coverage when no one else can. Or maybe you're that broker that can provide considerable discounts in different types of lanes, LTL lanes and FTL lanes. And we all know that shippers love discounts. Or maybe you're that broker that when the shipper is really in a jam, let's say they had an LTL load and it canceled at the last minute, and now they need coverage and they need coverage now, and you can go in and get coverage for that LTL load, then you are a very big asset. And although all of these are really good skills to have, and we need to have these skills and we need to keep developing these skills as freight brokers, there's one that I think that stands out amongst these as the skill to have, because it captures all of them. And that one skill is the ability to be able to say it and do it, to deliver on your word. You see, a lot of people say that they're going to do this and they're going to do that. They say that we can provide coverage to your LTL loads. We can provide discounts to those LTL loads. Or if you have multi-pick, multi-drop lanes, we can find coverage on those for you as well. And then when the shipper tests you, when he goes and he gives you an LTL load or a multi-pick, multi-drop, then you can't provide coverage. You can't do what you said you could deliver on. So that's not a very good start, to say the least. If you're starting out not doing what you say you're going to do, that's not a good start. So we want to not overpromise and underdeliver. We should speak as if we don't have all of the facts just yet, because the reality is we don't. We're just getting to know the shipper. We're learning more about the shipper. So until we gather the facts, we can't really say what we can and can't do. We're just saying blanket statements when we're talking to shippers if we don't have the facts just yet. So let's gather the facts, and then we can say definitively what we can do and what we can't do, because our word is important. I saw quoted somewhere once that integrity was the most valued and respected quality of leadership. Always keep your word. I agree with that. Always strive to keep your word because you're developing a reputation whether you keep your word or you don't keep your word. What type of reputation do you want to develop? What do you want to be known as? Do you want to be known as someone who is known to do everything that he or she can to keep his word? Or do you want to be known as someone who falters on their word quite often, who hardly ever does what they say they're going to do? I know what I want. I want to be known as someone who does what he says he's going to do. That's the bottom line. And when you look throughout your life, you can look and see what type of person you are by the track record that follows you. If you look at your credit report, it will tell you, do you do what you say you're going to do all the time? Do you do what you say you're going to do some of the time? Or do you never do what you say you're going to do? You can look at your credit report and it will tell you that story. So it's not necessarily what we say, it's what we do that we're measured by. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. Focus and hone in on doing the best that you can to always deliver on your word. If you want to learn more about the freight broker business, I'll leave a free link in the description. It's my 5-video series titled How the Load Movement Process Works. It will give you a look into the freight broker business, let you see how it works. That way, before you come into it, you can get a good picture of it, and then you can decide whether or not it's something for you. And then if you want to learn more about how we use load boards to search for trucks, to post our loads, and then that rate mate as a rate sourcing tool, I'm going to leave a free tutorial right here.
Please
so
like, subscribe, and click the bell so you don't miss anything.
See you at the top because the bottom is much too crowded.